Thank you for having me on,
watching
ma'am.
this video, incredible, powerful winds, maybe just the worst possible conditions for the folks living in Southern California. Your state, Tennessee, hit by Helene, people lost their homes. At the time, FEMA said they were running out of money. So now we look to this. JP Morgan says $10 billion in insured losses, but we know a lot of folks there will have to do just what they did in Tennessee. What do you think FEMA's response should be? And have they learned anything from some of the struggling issues from Helene in your state?
I think FEMA's response will be pitiful, as it has always been. You know, we just allocated $100 million for FEMA to take care of those people in Upper East Tennessee and North Carolina. And people are still without power, they're still without water, they're living in tents. It's ridiculous. The people in Hawaii are still waiting. FEMA needs to go out of business, or they need to start doing their dadgum job. I sure hope Donald Trump cleans house over there, ma'am, because the bureaucracy is beyond belief. When you've got some little smart aleck telling somebody who just lost everything they don't even qualify for the $700 because they don't have any identification or any way to communicate. Well, guess what? They lost everything in that dadgum hurricane, in that flood, and these bureaucrats are not doing their job. They need to go out of business. They need to turn it over to somebody like Samaritan's Purse, who was already on the ground and was already there. And waiting on FEMA is a joke. And America needs to realize it, and we need to clean house over there.
Franklin Graham, Samaritan Purse, amazing work that they do. We also know Starlink was crucial, Elon Musk's, in the days during Helene as well, and at one point wasn't able to land because of the government. So appreciate your insight there. And again, we are just watching this with just horror and hoping that the 30,000 evacuation folks are safe somewhere today as this continues to burn. Now, let's talk about what's happening today in Washington, D.C. We also know Donald Trump will be there to meet with Senate Republicans later tonight. He also is hosting some House members down in Mar-a-Lago. Not sure when your flight to South Florida is planned. But what do you think about this bill, reconciliation? One big, beautiful bill. Would that be your choice there, Congressman Burchett, or split it into two, as some on the Senate have proposed?
Yes, ma'am. Well, oddly enough, I haven't been invited down to Mar-a-Lago. I'm more conservative than most of these conservative groups do, but that's neither here nor there. I don't care if it's one bill. I don't care if it's 50 bills. President Trump understands results. That's why he is successful. And I think he's put a parameter out there and said, I'd like to see one bill. Maybe Congress could get to work. Maybe doing over 2 hours a day, a week work could get something done. They're saying we can't get this thing done by April. But what are we doing today? We're not meeting. This is just Washington 101, man. They drag their feet. They run us up against the deadline. Both parties do it. And then they load it up with junk. And that's why we're $36 trillion in debt, ma'am. I'm sorry I'm being a doggy downer today, but I'm kind of getting tired of the victory lap all my Republican colleagues are running on. We got work to do. We've got 100 to possibly 150 days to enact President Trump's agenda. And we are primarily a very gutless bunch of people, both parties, and we've got to get to work. I'm sick of all the letter writing and wringing of hands that we do, but the reality is we've got to produce. The American public demands it, and we need to follow through with that.
So maybe not a downer, but pretty concise there with the way you see how things are functioning. A lot of folks at home are saying, hey, wait a second, Donald Trump has the mandate, he has the Senate, he has the House, he's got the executive branch. Why are things still at a grind here? What's the solution then?
I think holding us accountable. One election is not going to change the world. You've got to hold us accountable, man. What's going to happen with Doge? I love Vivek. I love Elon. Elon got on board on my bill where we found out we're paying $40 million a week to the Taliban, and he's helped pushing it through. I got past it last year, and I couldn't get it through the Senate. They're talking about cutting $2 trillion. Ma'am, that's just 200 days. Every 100 days, we add another $1 trillion to the debt. And here's what's going to happen. The House is going to pass something that's going to be real conservative. The Senate's going to pass something real conservative. And it's going to be like this, and it won't meet. And we'll blame it on the House. They'll blame it on the Senate. And we'll continue spending this money. America needs to get aware, get alert, and get off this victory train they're on right now and pay attention to what we're doing, because we're getting ready to lay the wood to the taxpayers once again if they're not careful by all this spending. And we've got to get control. We're not going to have another chance at this.